hundreds of thousands of YouTube's content creators, if not millions, are failing.
Yeah, and the thing is the entire system is built, well, the entire YouTube ecosystem is built upon the aspect of generating as much revenue as possible for as cheaply as possible. And it's expensive to employ a person to review a video. And a person can only review the video as fast as they can watch it. Whereas a computer algorithm can sit there and review a video in a matter of seconds just because of audio data, looking for a comparison of spoken words and stuff like that. Which even then, with the best speech recognition programs out there, there's still a lot of problems. I mean, just look at how many times if you do your speech to text on a cell phone application, how often that messes up when you speak into it, or when you talk to an Alexa or an Echo or any of those other support devices. And so there's
Right.
tons of flaws, and so there's a huge area for mess up, which affects the rest of all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
And so, and it doesn't take context into consideration. Go ahead, Mike.
A good way to simplify what you're saying is that for the listeners, the program that allows closed captioning just looks at the audio. Now, there's a lot of times when words can be combined together in a way that would allow people to think, or allow an algorithm or an AI to think that someone may just cussed. And I'll give an example. Someone could say as assimilation, in a sentence talking about some scientific method or something. Now, that sounds almost like ass immolation, like a burning ass, or as assimilation. And AIs mess up a lot of times when they're, and these closed captioning programs mess up a lot of times when they're having to deal with a whole lot of words. Because think about all the different dialects and all the different languages, and that's a problem. This woman spoke multiple languages, and I'm sure a lot of her stuff was probably demonetized and flagged because of misunderstandings, things being lost in translation. And it's very sad that this was the outcome, that she ended up going to YouTube and shooting up the place. But on the flip side of this, whenever there's these mass shootings happening, a lot of people blame everything else other than the person. They blame mental illness. They blame the fact that people can have access to guns in the first place. They blame bullying. I think that removes agency from people, and ultimately she is responsible for this. She is the person that did this violent, horrible act, and she is the one that bared the consequences. She ended up, putting herself in a situation to where she had to shoot herself. And I think people need to turn the focus on to these individuals, and more blame should be cast on the person committing the act than the tools they used, or their past, or any of these other factors. Not enough emphasis is placed on the actual individuals committing the acts in the first place, and I find that just kind of crazy if you think about it.
And Jerry Mitchell actually in my chat had a good comment here. Hell, people can't even tell sarcasm in chat. You think a computer will get it straight? Lol. And that is very true. I mean, when there's miscommunications between people just with a text chat, how well do you think a computer that is taught by humans to try to do a certain task, a very difficult task, is when it's taught by something that is not perfect themselves on that specific issue? And that's part of the reason why I go back to the whole it doesn't take context into consideration. It just looks for speech. Like if you sit there and use curse words and all that stuff, well, it says, oh, there's curse words in here, so I might have to do an age restriction on this. Or it might hear certain words or sayings, and it'll cause further restrictions. And this is not entirely directly on YouTube either. There's other social media platforms that use similar kinds of AI algorithms to do similar kinds of censorship. Facebook's got similar kinds of stuff going on, except they usually have a little bit more human people involved in that aspect. And I wouldn't be surprised if Twitch has got stuff going on. And while the other platforms I do use, like Mixer, Periscope, and StreamMe, probably don't have anything as grandiose of this stuff, they do Well, if they ever do get to a decent amount of size of a user base, they will probably institute these kinds of algorithms to push, to do this kinds of censorship on their platforms and all that stuff. And let's see here. What did you pay to upload the content on their server? Okay, I'm not sure if that was directed at me.
Yeah, Bunny.
Yeah?
Got to say something real quick. Speaking of AIs and algorithms, I've embedded this live stream in my Steemit blog over at steemit.com, and there's an AI, a robot in there called Cheetah. And what Cheetah does is it looks for content that you've plagiarized. So I just got an email from a robot that I've, that from this live stream that says, "Hi, I'm a robot. I just upvoted you. Readers might be interested in similar content." Now, Cheetah has real people that follow that AI, and when enough stuff gets flagged as being possibly plagiarism, they start downvoting your content and you lose money on your content on Steemit. So I'm at risk if these humans don't realize that, it's actually my content, of losing money right here.